All right, version 8.8, event number one. Contrary to what the main splash screen on the homepage says, it is not British Grand Prix that is the main event of the new version. It is, of course, the Monaco. That's not a very good start. And things don't improve much as we go through this event here. There's some serious bug that is currently in this event. And I'll explain that to you as I go over, kind of showing you the overview of this event. So tuning setups available. There are 28 total. That's kind of universal on all these different Grand Prix tunings, at least so far. So British Grand Prix had 28 available tunings. Same for Belgian Grand Prix, and same here for Monaco. So let's go over some numbers first. As you know, each of the 2020 season Formula One cars cost $2.5 million motorsport dollars if you were to buy them outright. And by completing these Grand Prix events, each one, you get to earn a car for free plus a tuning setup. Now, tuning setup will be available to you as long as you complete it at some point. The free car, you can only win it if you finish within the specified limited time. And for this Monaco Grand Prix, it is going to be 5-day time span that you have to complete once you start the event, which shouldn't be too bad. This is, from what I've seen, relatively straightforward. It has PR requirement, which we'll talk about in a bit, because that's where the major bug currently resides in this event. But anyway, you know how 2020 season cars, the base PR varies from 116 for Mercedes down to the 115.6 of, let's see, I think there are 4 teams with the 115.6 PR. Let me double check here. AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams. Those are the 4 with the lowest PR, base PR 115.6. And then there are 4 teams with 115.8. And then there's one, the Red Bull Racing with 115.9, and Mercedes at the top with 116. So supposedly, I think this is what they meant. It's because this is what they've done in the previous Belgian Grand Prix when they had the set PR requirement you had to meet. For this event, PR requirement varies from 123.4 up to 123.8. And let's see. So the higher number, 123.8, is for Mercedes. And 100 for Red Bull Racing, it is 123.7. And then the next group of 4 teams, 4 cars, so Ferrari, McLaren, Renault, and Racing Point, those, their PR requirement is 123.6, and then remaining 4 teams, 123.4. So in order to meet that PR requirement, pretty much every team, you need 24 tunings installed. You can kind of go with a slightly different variation on where you want to put your tunings in, but it involves maxing out the gearbox, right? There are only 3 available, so might as well get all 3. And then the power unit optimization, brake calibration. Let's see, brakes calibration you're going to have to max out because it's the cheapest one to max out at 7 tunings. And then you can kind of play around with whether you want to put extra one on suspension tuning or even out with the power unit optimization. Cheapest way to go is put 8 on suspension adjustment and go with the 6 on power unit optimization. I think that, so we're talking 3, 6, 7, 8 tuning setup should get your PR to meet the PR requirement for whatever car you're using. And the motorsport dollar cost would be about 2.8 million and change. So if you have to count the changes, obviously you probably are not ready for this event. And considering that there are, you can earn 250,000 per day if you have 0 motorsport dollars at the start of this, let's say right now, for some weird reason, then you would have to essentially farm for 11 days before you're able to afford the tunings. Right. Now, the goofy thing about this is, oh, by the way, since we're talking about this, let's talk a little bit more about, we'll hop in. So, as you know, I've been using Mercedes Lewis Hamilton and this account. And I also have, as you can see there, Red Bull Racing available to me. And that one, I might go with the Red Bull in this Monaco with Alex Albon, who I've been using to farm those 250,000 daily earnings that is available. Sorry, Max. I think you're great, but I want to give the rookie a chance, you know? And then next 4 teams. So those are kind of a top tier teams, right? And so, as I said about tuning setups, you are going to have to install like some 24 tunings unless you have higher like level team principal or driver. As you can see here, both my team principal and driver are level 1. I haven't put any gold in. That's what that means. Because to level up your driver and or team principal, it's all gold, right? So I haven't put any gold in here because I haven't felt the need to. But here's where the goofy thing starts to happen. I noticed when you level up your either driver or the team principal to raise the PR requirement to complete a stage goes up with it, which is really goofy. So you have to, it's like chasing after PR requirement. So you actually end up having to raise your PR by getting tuning instead of not necessarily raising the driver level or team principal level, because that level up, the PR boost that you get from level up gets negated because PR requirement runs away with it. I noticed, yeah, that is definitely a big bug that needs to be squashed, because then why would anybody want to level up? You're getting punished for leveling up your driver and team principal. That seems wrong. You know, I'm pretty sure that is not their intent. So that's why I say it's probably a bug that needs to be squashed. They'll probably release some patch that will be short download at some point, I'm thinking, because they have to be aware of it by now, because I've already found out about it. So anyway, so here's the thing. So you're going to have to get 24 tunings, which means your team principal, whoever you use, will at least gain 3,600 team principal XP. And team principal XP has a limit. Let's see, 9,000 is the max XP a team principal can get, because then after that it's kind of wasted, right? So since you have to spend another, well, your team principal of choice in this for this event will essentially gain 3,600 XP. Pick a team principal who can take advantage of all those 3,600 XP, right? And that's one of the reasons why I am electing not to go with the Mercedes this time around, because my team principal for Mercedes, Toto Wolff, has over he's got about a little bit under 6,000 XP. So that means, if I go with this event with the same car, he's gonna have access XP that he's not gonna be able to gain all the XP from getting tuning. See what I mean? So that's something that you have to keep in mind. So if you obviously, and afterwards, after I win the event, I can switch over the tuning setup for Mercedes to the Monaco tuning setup, and get the remaining tuning setup, 4 tuning setups from there, where Toto Wolff can get some extra there. So that's my plan of attack here. I think that's about where I am. I cannot remember off the top of my head. And yeah, so I'll probably go through this event with Red Bull Racing. So enough of that prelude. Let's hop in and talk about what we need to do. So do they tell you? They just tell you the explanation for the tuning setup for Monaco circuit. So, it's the grip and acceleration, and strong brakes really is the key here. Not really much an opportunity to go, open up that top end of the speed spectrum. So gearbox mapping, don't need a whole lot there. All right, and 5-stage special event. Do they tell you you have to finish under a certain amount of time? No, not yet. Oh yeah, and this event has 22 goals. I know, what's with the 22 goals? Well, stage 1 actually has 5, and the 5th one, the last goal of the stage 1, is a bit of a surprise, because it features the old McLaren MP44. So that's kind of cool. I think it's cool. I like these when these special events showcase some other cars, So anyway, stage 1, there are 5 goals, as I said. None of them have PR requirements. Skipping cost is 10 gold. And then, yes, when you start the event, there is a 3-hour countdown clock for where you can take advantage of instant free service and instant R&D on tuning. Right, so Red Bull Racing RB16, base PR 115.9. And my team principal, Christian Horner, just has 950 XP so far. So not leveling him up anytime soon. I mean, I can, but I'm just gonna wait. So anyway, so yeah, goal 1, or the stage 1, has 5 goals, all 10 gold to skip goals. Right, so still no PR requirement yet. The first time, in fact, the PR requirement shows up is at the end of stage 2, where for this car it should be 118.5. Right, so still no PR requirement yet, so you can run all these events. entire stage 1 stock, and pick up some gold while you're at it, because at the end of stage 1 there's a 5 gold reward. And yada yada yada. And then here's the surprise, the McLaren MP44. So yes, mine is fully upgraded, so yours probably wouldn't look like this one, but that's okay. Yours probably look better. Anyway, no PR requirement though still, because if you don't own it, you'll be given a loaner that you can earn upon completing all 9 Grand Prix events in this season 2020. So that's pretty exciting, because it's a pretty expensive car and it's a fun car and it's a legend, right? So let's skip though for the time being, since I will have playthrough videos in a different video. So 20,000 motorsport dollars reward for completing tier 1 or stage 1, and another 5 gold for the same achievement here. And then you also get to win the new livery for the Academy car. So it's that Dim Mak livery, right? Yada yada yada. And then we move on to stage 2. Now they're back to 4 gold stages, and then the skipping costs up to 20 gold. Still no PR requirement, as I mentioned. It'll be showing up at the last goal up stage 2, so still no PR requirement, right? And then goal 4, we're going to have a PR requirement of 118.5, as you can see there. And then, should I show you here? Sure, I'll show you here. Why not? So, let's see. I want to use Team Principal to level up my, bring my PR up, so I can reach the PR requirement of 118.5, right? All right, so let's do it. I'm getting there. Ah, not enough. Okay, never mind. Okay, fine. I'll go with the driver level up then. Oh, look. PR requirement just bumped up to 119.1. What gives? This is what I mean. How about we do another one? Okay, that didn't cause another jump, but that is kind of frustrating. You get my point here? You get my catching my drift? And then now all of a sudden, oh, but now it's back to 118.5. But when I go in, it's back to 119.1 when I'm in tuning setup. So let's see. Let's see if I can do it. All right, I think my team principals just leveled up, or have enough XP to level up, right? All right, 118.3. Maybe I can get around this problem with getting one more tuning. Will they let me? Ah. So, I guess when push comes to shove, if you will, that did not make any difference in terms of what you actually have to do. But I'm not going to race right now. Yeah, so I don't know if it's just a matter of cosmetics or the visual that it shows up as one PR, but it does not let you. But next stage should start with the same PR requirement of 118.5. Let's see if that's what's given, or whether upgrading my driver and team principal has caused a bump in PR requirement for the next challenge, because that's really going to be a kick. And there it is, 119.3. Could I just say that's totally messed up? That should be the same, 118.6. In fact, I know it would be 118.5 for Red Bull Racing, right? But now you have to put more tunings early on, and that bumped up tuning is going to carry on through the rest of the event. So at the end, if you put upgrades on driver and team principal, you will end up with higher PR requirement than those of others who didn't bother putting leveling up driver and team principal. So that's kind of messed up. But anyway, stage 3, 30 gold to skip. And yes, this event, you can go through all 5 stages in one sitting if you'd like. You don't have to wait 24 hours between each stage, which is wonderful. So yeah, that's pretty messed up. And then finally, tier 4, PR requirement 121.3. That should be, if you didn't put level up your driver and team principal, it would be 120.5. So essentially, by upgrading your leveling up your driver and team principal, you're stuck with a higher PR requirement. And it's not a recommended PR or suggested PR. You have to meet it, right? Which means you end up having to get these tuning set up anyway. Anyway, by the way, stage 2 completion was 30,000 motorsport dollar payout and 5 gold. And then, as you can see here, stage 3 completion rewards you 40,000 and 10 gold. All right, so the numbers that you're getting in this run here is not accurate. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It shouldn't be this high. So stage 4 is now qualifying, and then only we get just a single stage, stage 5, for the actual Grand Prix event. So stage 4 skipping cost is 50. And then PR requirement is still gonna remain the same as how you completed the last stage. And in this case, 121.3 because I leveled up these guys. So until they fix this problem, don't level up your driver, don't level up your team principal. Event should be pretty manageable even without doing that, because your tuning setups will come into play a greater role than the leveling up your driver and team principal. And if you started this event with team principal level higher than stock, would you be encountering higher PR requirement from get-go? Well, I don't know. So since I don't know, let's actually restore real quick here. And why don't we confirm? So this time around, I'll level up my team principal, or the driver first. So bring my starting PR up higher, and then check in and see if that makes any difference. If it'll let me restore at some point. No, I do not want to save. Restore, thank you very much. All right, let's hop back in, and once again, we'll pick Red Bull Racing. And you know what? Let's do this. we'll put all the stuff in first and then try it out. So event itself is essentially not gonna think that I am leveling up during the event, but you've done all the stuff prior to, right? So let's try it again. Here we go. Red Bull Racing. Yada, yada, yada. Start. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael and the gang. All right. Stage 1, we know we don't have any PR requirements, so we'll just quickly skip these. And then we'll get to stage 4, or no, goal 4 of stage 2, and we'll verify exactly what it says. So at the end of stage 2, PR requirement for this car should be, as I said, 118.5. Right. One more, and let's check in. The moment of truth. And 119.1. What gives, right? So, yeah, that's wrong. So, if you have your team, if you've chosen a team with a already driver and team principal level higher than level 1, then your PR requirement is going to be higher as well, which is totally messed up if you ask me. So third time, this time around, we'll just run through it without any tuning setups. In fact, I'll just pick Mercedes again. Mercedes again, as I've done in previous events. So for the time being, we'll skip through. There we go. We already know about the stage 1, and we also know about stage 2 and 3, don't we? But I'll just kind of review those one more time. Stage 1 at the end, of course, we get to use the MP44. No PR requirement, once again, as I reiterate. 20,000 motorsport dollar rewards plus 5 gold. And free livery for the Academy car. And then stage 2, skipping cost is 20 gold. There is no PR requirement till you get to the end of the stage 2, where the PR requirement for Mercedes is going to be 118.6. Right. But for now, we'll skip just so we can confirm the PR requirement at the end. 30,000 motorsport dollar reward for stage 2 completion, and another 5 gold. Right. And then next stage, stage 3. Skipping cost up to 30 gold at the beginning. You still have the carryover PR requirement, 118.6 for Mercedes. And that'll last through till the last goal of stage 3, as you would expect. So up to goal 3, it's still going to have the same PR requirement of 118.6 for Mercedes. And it gets another bump here at the end of another stage, stage 3, 120.6. Remember earlier when we had the higher level for driver and team principal, that was like 121. Yeah. Anyway, stage 3 completion is worth another 40,000 motorsport dollars, and this one of course pays out 10 gold. And that leads us to the stage 4. Right. And let's see. Right. The skipping, now 50 gold. And the PR requirement still carrying over from previous stage. And there will be a jump at the end once again. Still 120.6. And another 50 to skip. And 121.9 to get through this one. And that is the end of stage 4. 60,000 is the payout for that one. And another 10 gold for that stage completion. And of course that leads us to the final stage, the actual Grand Prix event, where there are going to be 5 goals. Skipping cost starts out at 80 gold at the beginning, and then for the final 2 goals it'll be bumped up to 120. So don't plan on skipping. So 121.9 still there. And the same for second goal. On the goal 3 is where we're going to see the final PR requirements showing up. For Mercedes, it's going to be 123.8. Right. And you'll get there by basically maxing out gearbox mapping. That's the cheapest one. And there are only 3 available, so you're going to have to get all of them. Right. And then you would need to get either 7 across the board. That works too. No, I'll do that for this one. And yeah, you can see my team principal here reaching that 9,000 cap pretty quickly here. So some are going to be wasted. This is why I'm not going to be running with this team for this event. Because we got to seize these events, you know? All right. We're up to what? 6, so I'm gonna get one more. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I can bring, I know, changing my mind halfway through here. And then the rest of it, I'm not gonna earn any more team principal XP because I maxed out here, as you can see. Right, so that's such a waste. So all right. And if you rely surely on tuning setup only, I think you'll end up with a 1 extra PR point at the end. So instead of 123.8, you most likely will end up with a 123.9. All right, so let's see, let's max out the brakes. And continue on here. So now we're up to 123.5. Yeah, 123.9 is what you're going to end up with. 243,100 if you decide to go with a suspension versus 260. So they're not that much different. But if you're really concerned about the cheapest route, this would be the way to go. So 3, 6, 7, 8, as I said earlier. And it'll cost you about, what did I say? About 2.8 million and change. So that's how you will meet the PR requirement. And yeah, the final 2 goals. Skipping cost is bumped up to 120. And yep, there you go. That's how you will end up. But what if I decide to level up my driver? Will that mess up my PR requirement here? Not at the end. How about team principal? I guess once it's set, it doesn't mess it up. Well, that's good to know. But anyway, that's kind of messed up. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. And yeah, so of course, upon completing the event, final goal stage, the final reward is 60,000. Or no, 50,000 for final stage. The stage 4 was 60,000. And then the 20 remaining gold to complete the 50 gold total for going through the event. And you get to pick a new car. You know, doesn't have to be the same one. Obviously, you would pick a different car that you don't own. And then you get to win the tuning setup. Right. So, all right. So that's how you will run through this event. So thanks for watching and good luck.